So people are calling the Jews protesting in Tel Aviv crazy for accusing their government of having a hand in the October 7th attacks, or even wilder, that it was an inside job. But like, looking at the evidence, I don't know if the conspiracy theory is that crazy.
When we found out, Rob, that they knew, apparently they had information intelligence for a year that it was going to happen. The day that it happened, apparently all the defenses were down. Hamas got to run rampant for 6 hours. We saw this thing called the Jericho Wall, where Israel, a leaked document where Israel already had a plan of what to do with all these, all the displaced people. They want to send them all to Egypt and all the countries and the United States. Bibi Netanyahu was on a video saying how he can do whatever he wants.
For 6 hours with one of the sickest military, sickest intelligence. Do you think like they knew, they let it happen? What's the...
When he says sickest intelligence in the world, he quite literally is referencing when Google built part of their security infrastructure. Like, you couldn't chuck a rock at the gate without infrared being pointed at you. Oh, hold on. You want to see some dystopian shit?
That Israel's techno-dystopia is testing out remote-controlled guns with AI tracking systems on civilians in the West Bank. They've just installed one in Haida refugee camp pointing directly at the entrance to the Palestinian neighborhood. The same spot where an Israeli sniper shot dead a 13-year-old boy and regularly fires at kids.
This thing is in the West Bank, you know, the place where terrorists don't exist because Israel occupies that area. Yeah, like, this is an AI-powered gun turret that's focus firing on anyone that's 3 shades darker than mayonnaise. What the f*** do you think is guarding the border of Gaza if this thing is guarding the West Bank?
And this is the most guarded border ever. I mean, you can't even have a dog pass by without being shot. And these walls has been tried and tested, and the fact that they again and they continue, like the wall by itself is 7 meters up, 7 meters down the ground. It's one of the most fortified borders ever. And then you go in, the Apaches didn't even appear until after 6 hours. And you understand like how Israel and Gaza, all of these lakes are like very small. These are like very small. It is like a plane can be there in 2 minutes.
Even more damning is that the Israeli government has been caught lying about virtually every major event in this conflict, and the media just can't keep up. Look, there's a simple example. The article above my head is from the Times of Israel. It's basically like the news org for the country, and they sent journalists to go interview military personnel to ask them what the f*** happened October 7th. The newspaper found out that over 100 of Israel's best commandos were told to evacuate all of the installations that Hamas ended up targeting a day before the attack. And I want you to understand how crazy that sounds for people living in Israel. This is the most fortified country in the world. Like, again, laser turrets pointing at kids, but like, you know, like people can parachute in. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Even if Bibi's corrupt ass were able to make that paper reprint something, he still wouldn't be able to keep up with the propaganda, because after that story got covered up, he'd have to go to the New York Times and ask them to take down the map of all the military installations that got attacked, which, surprise, surprise, lines up with all the places you took the troops out of.
So somewhere around along 2022, Israeli intelligence was able to get the plan for the Hamas attack. It was codenamed by Israeli intelligence the Wall of Jericho, the Jericho Wall. And it details in many different details how the attack is going to take place, exactly as it took place more than a year after.